Hi guys, let us continue our discussion on work study part 3. Today we are going to discuss about work study and productivity. The relation between productivity and work study is thus obvious. If work study results in cutting down the time of performing a certain activity by 20%, merely as a result of rearranging the sequence or simplifying the method of operation and without additional expenditure, then productivity will go up by corresponding value, that is by 20%. To appreciate how work study acts to cut down cost and reduce the time of a certain activity, it is necessary to examine more closely what that time consists of. 1. How the total time of a job is made up. The time taken by a worker or a machine to carry out an operation or to produce a given quantity of a certain product may be considered as made up in the following manner, which is illustrated in a figure next. There is a first, the basic work content of the product or operation. Work content means, of course, the amount of work contained in a given product or process measured in work hours or machine hours. A work hour is the labor of one person for 1 hour. A machine hour is the running of a machine or piece of plant for 1 hour. The basic work content is the time taken to manufacture the product or to perform the operation. If the design or specification of the product or service provided were perfect, if the process or method of operation were perfectly carried out, and if there were no loss of working time from any cause whatsoever during the period of the operation, other than the legitimate rest pauses permitted to the operative. The basic work content is the irreducible minimum time theoretically required to produce 1 unit of output. This is obviously a perfect condition which never occurs in practice, although it may sometimes be approached, especially in line manufacturing or process industries. Excess of it on account of excess work content. The work content is increased by the following. A. Work content added by poor design or specification of product or its plants or improper utilization of materials. There are several ways in which unnecessary time and waste can be attributed to poor design of the product or its parts or to incorrect quality control. A1. Poor design and frequent design changes. The product may be designed in such a way that it may require a large number of non-standard parts, causing a lengthy time of assembly. Excessive variety of products and lack of standardization of products or their parts may mean that work has to be produced in small batches with time lost as the operator adjusts and shifts from one batch to the next. A2. Waste of materials. The components of a product may be so designed that an excessive amount of material has to be removed to bring them to their final shape. This increases the work content of the job and waste materials as well. Operations requiring cutting in particular need carefully examination to see if the resulting waste can be reduced to a minimum or reused. A3. Incorrect quality standards. Quality standards that are too high or too low can increase work content. In engineering industries, insisting on sometimes unnecessarily tight tolerances requires extra machining and a corresponding waste of material. On the other hand, setting tolerances too loose may result in large number of rejects. Deciding on the appropriate quality standard and the method of quality control is an important efficiency consideration. B. Work content added by inefficient methods of manufacture or operation. Ineffective time and higher cost can result from a poor method of carrying out the operations, resulting in unnecessary movements of persons or materials. Similarly, such ineffective time can be due to inappropriate handling of methods, poor maintenance of machinery or equipment resulting in frequent breakdowns, or poor inventory control causing delays because of an absence of products or parts or a higher cost as a result of overstocking. B1. Poor layout and utilization of space. The space used for any operation represents an investment. Space is an important source of cost reduction, particularly when an enterprise is expanding and needs an increased working area. Furthermore, a proper layout movement, time and effort. B2. Inadequate raw materials, parts and finished products are invariably being moved from one place to another throughout a production operation. The use of the most appropriate handling equipment for the purpose can save time and effort. B3. Frequent stoppages as production changes from one product to another. The proper planning and control of production operations can ensure that one production batch or order follows immediately on another, so that idle time of machinery, equipment or labor is eliminated or minimized. B4. Ineffective method of work. A sequence of operations may be well planned, but each or some of them done in a cumbersome manner. By examining the way a certain operation is carried out and devising a better method, ineffective time can be reduced. B5. Poor planning of inventory. In every operation, raw material is usually ordered and stocked ahead of time, and at every stage of the operation an inventory of so-called materials in progress or semi-finished products and various parts are temporarily stocked waiting to be processed. These various inventories represent a tied-up investment. A proper inventory control system installed can minimize such an idle investment while ensuring that the operators do not run out of the material needed. B6. Frequent of machines and equipment. Poor maintenance results in machinery and equipment that are often out of action and idle time ensures while waiting for repairs. Installing a preventive maintenance system and mounting maintenance campaigns would ensure the smooth functioning of machinery and equipment. C. Work content resulting mainly from the contribution of human resources. Workers in an enterprise can influence the time of operations voluntarily or involuntarily as follows. C1. Absenteeism and lateness. If management fails to provide a safe and satisfying work climate, workers could respond by absenteeism, lateness, or deliberately working slowly. C2. Poor workmanship. If workers are improperly trained, the resulting poor workmanship can mean that the job has to be done again. Losses may also occur because of wasted material. C3. Accidents and occupational hazards. A safe and healthy place to work, accidents or occupational illness can occur, with resulting effects on morale and increased absenteeism. The impact of all the factors mentioned above under headings A to C is shown in figure 3. If these factors can be eliminated, an ideal situation, which of course never occurs in real time, as shown in figure 4. The minimum time and cost for the production of a given output and hence the maximum productivity is achieved. It can therefore be seen that the work study specialist has to keep all these in mind when examining an operation and trying to develop an improved method. Ahead, we are going to expand on these methods and techniques that can be used to reduce cost, cut ineffective time, and develop a better method of work. Two. Interrelationship of the various methods used to reduce ineffective time. None of the methods discussed above can be properly applied in isolation. Each one has an effect and is affected by others. It is impossible to plan programs of work without standards operations. At the same time, production planning will be made easier if a sound personnel policy and a well-applied incentive scheme encourages workers to perform reliably. Standardization of products or parts will make the job of inventory control easier by demanding less variety of materials to be bought and held in stock. It will be seen that in our discussion in this chapter, we have gradually moved from a study of productivity of the enterprise as a whole to the productivity of a certain part of it, namely the productivity of certain operations and of labor. We have looked briefly at some of the methods and techniques that can be used to provide information on how productivity may be improved. Work study uses this type of information, whether manual or computerized, to develop new methods of work and to measure workloads and duration of tasks. Further, various techniques will be discussed in more detail. Next, work study. The approach. First, what is work study valuable? Investigation and improvement of operations at workplace. Good managers have been investigating and improving ever since human effort was first organized on a large scale. Managers of outstanding ability, geniuses have always been able to make notable advances. Unfortunately, no country seems to have an adequate supply of competent managers. The prime value of work study lies in that fact that by carrying out its systematic procedures, a manager can achieve results as good as or better than the less systematic genius was able to achieve in the past. Work study succeeds because it is systematic both in the investigation of the problem being considered and the development of its solution. Systematic investigation takes time. It is therefore necessary in all but the smallest firms to separate the job of making work studies from the tasks of the management. Factory managers or supervisors in their day-to-day work with its many human and material problems are never free from interruption for long. However capable they may be, managers can rarely afford to devote a long time without interruption to the study of a single activity on the factory floor or in a working area. This means that it is almost able to undertake in full time, without direct management duties, someone in a staff and not a line position. Work study is a service to management and supervision. We have now discussed very briefly some aspects of the nature of work study and why it is such a valuable tool for management. There are other reasons to be added to the above. These may be summarized as follows. First, it is a means of raising the productivity of a plant or operating unit by the reorganization of work, a method which normally involves little or no capital expenditure on facilities and equipment. People in line positions exercise direct supervisory authority over the ranks below them. Staff appointees, on the other hand, are strictly advisors with no power or authority to put their recommendations into operation. Their function is to provide expert information. Introduction to work study. Guys, let us stop here. Remaining part will be in next video number 4. Please like it, share it and subscribe it. Thanks for watching.